Guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another fantastic book by the amazing Kerrigan Byrne. Today we are talking about Seducing a Stranger, otherwise known as A Dark and Stormy Night. This is the book about Chief Inspector Carlton Morley. We've known him since Victorian Rebels Book 1, which was Dugan and Farah's book. And he's been there all throughout the books. This book is actually the last in the Victorian Rebels series, and it's also the first in the Good Girls series. So the reading order would be like that. Start with the Victorian Rebels and then move on to the Good Girls. And those two series definitely need to be read in order. They're just amazing. Oh my god. I actually believe Carlton to be the ultimate husband material in the Victorian Rebels series, and I was quite surprised to get to know him better and really understand his motives, understand his personality. I loved the build-up to his story. In the first book of the Victorian Rebels series, Morley asks Farah to marry him, but she gets kidnapped by Dorian, so that doesn't work out. We also know that Morley hates Dorian from the start, and he was basically trying to get him into jail. Well, we finally learn why. And I assume since you're watching this, you have read the books, so you know that the big why is, well, Morley was best friends with the real Dorian. So when the new Dorian comes from jail, the fake Dorian, Morley's pissed and he hates the new man. But anyways, back to the book. Prudence Good has to get married. She doesn't love her husband, and then she accidentally overhears her sister and her friend talking about her husband, and she finds out that her husband is cheating on her. She's pissed and she makes a drastic decision. She decides to go to basically like a male brothel and hire a man to lose her virginity to and just enjoy it one time and then get married and be faithful to her husband like a good wife. Coincidentally, Morley ends up in that same brothel on that same night because that's where he's led to when he's trying to find a killer. So when Prudence runs into him, she's like, I want to hire you. I find you attractive. How much? Let's get it on with. And when he realizes what she means, he's like, well, imagine his shock. But at the same time, she's like the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. And even though he realizes she's a lady, and for all he knows, she might be doing this regularly, he also realizes that if he's not the one to cater to her wish, she's just gonna find another man. And he's like, oh, I can't allow that. So they have sex. And then he disappears. And then 3 months later, they meet again at her wedding, where he ends up accidentally. And he actually finds her with a knife in her hand over her dead, almost husband's body. So he has to arrest her because she's the main suspect in murder of her fiance. But then she hits him with, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant and it's yours. And that's the real start of their story. What happens then is a marriage of convenience. And that's where we learn what kind of man Carlton Morley really is. There are numerous flashbacks into his childhood where we learn that his big trauma is him losing his twin sister. Also, his real name is not Carlton at all. He basically came up with that name. He saw it on a sign somewhere when he was enlisting for the army. I admire him so much because he has risen from being a nobody into being the best chief inspector in the city. And aside from that, he's also apparently an investor and he has money. And whatever salary he makes as an inspector, he just donates it to the church, to the pastor who was helping him when he was a child. We also learn that Morley is a very kind man deep inside, and apparently his biggest wish ever is to be a husband and be a father. And he actually mentions that throughout his career he's watched his colleagues leave home to their wives and their children, and he was jealous of them. So he always had a wish to also experience the same. He wanted love, he wanted peace, he wanted fatherhood. And he's so ready to become a father. He's actually building a nursery in secret. Like, he's hiding it away from Prudence. It's like he feels too vulnerable to show his true feelings, his true thoughts. He's acting like such a tough man when on the inside he's such a softie who's just in complete wonder at the fact that he has created a baby that's coming to his life soon. And that is why I think he's like such a husband material. It's his desire to be a father, to be a husband, except he actually doesn't act like a good husband for like a big part of the book. He's running away from his feelings, and we get to see why. We get to understand his reasoning, and we get to witness the love really growing between him and Prudence. Well, to be fair, they pretty much fell in love at first sight, and then when they got married, Prudence was trying to get her husband's attention, while her husband was trying to run away and keep himself away from her. Throughout the book, he's also trying to solve the mystery who actually murdered Prudence's almost husband. And how is Prudence's father involved with all of that? That suspense component in the book was actually really good, and Byrne did a good job with the plot development. This book also features the beloved characters from the Victorian Rebels: Dorian, Ash, Christopher Argent. Truly, it's always so heartwarming to see all of those characters, see how they're doing, see their families, see their happiness. I gave this book definite 5 stars. It was a very interesting and engaging read with, as usual for Kerrigan Byrne, a complex plot, well-developed characters. It kept me captivated. Morley is such a trustworthy man. I would want a husband like him. He's just there, he's just so dependable, so reliable, and so protective. And he really just gave me the husband material vibes, more so than all the other characters in the series. I'm of course sad that I have finished the entire Victorian Rebels series. I wish it was longer, but I feel like there's really no way to make it longer. So I'm currently making my way through the Good Girls series. I already finished the first 4 books. So now let me ask you, who is your favorite male character in the Victorian Rebels and the Good Girls series? What did you think about Chief Inspector Carlton Morley? Let me know in the comments. If you like historical romance, make sure to subscribe so we can chat about those books. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.